Good afternoon, my friends. I hope that you had a nice weekend, a nice Shabbat, a restful and relaxing holiday weekend. Today is Memorial Day, a solemn and sacred day in the history of our country where we, in a secular way, have a day of Yom HaZikaron, a day of remembrance that allows us to take a step back and remember those and be thankful for all of those who have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we could be here as Jews free in this country, as Americans with all of our rights and privileges. It's also a time this week where we are approaching the end of the Omer, the end of the counting from 1 to 49, the days of Pesach to Shavuot, the days that mark the journey of our people from the Exodus of Egypt on Passover to Revelation at Sinai on Shavuot, which begins this Thursday night. And so as we mark this Memorial Day, as we make sure to mark this day, remember this day, and make sure that this day counts, we count these days, these weeks of weeks, these 49 days, adding value to each day and marking that even though this period of the Omer is different than it normally is, different in that we are unable to physically be with one another, we can still make each day special, make each day valuable, and make each day add value one to the next as we move from holiday to holiday, from sacred period to sacred period. This week, we have a number of things coming up at CDT Online that I want to make sure you know about. Tomorrow night, Mike will be here on Facebook to lead us in song as we have another musical moment with Mike, a spiritual, reflective, healing moment filled with song and teachings and spirituality that allows us to take a step back during the middle of the week and take stock in those things that are valuable and important and meaningful in our lives. This week, Wednesday, Torah study will be postponed until next week, but on Thursday morning, the prime timers will gather together on Zoom for coffee with me as we continue our series discussing movies that have Jewish themes in it. And this week, we will be talking about one of my favorite Jewish movies, The Frisco Kid, with Gene Wilder and Harrison Ford, the story of a rabbi from Poland coming to America, coming to serve a community in San Francisco, where he meets an outlaw along the way, and a friendship blossoms from this unlikely duo. So join us at 10 o'clock for this discussion that is sure to be just as enlightening and in-depth as the ones we've had week in and week out. Immediately following that, at 11 o'clock, join us for another installment of Molly's Israeli Kitchen, where Molly will teach us how to make blintzes in order to get ready for Shavuot, because one of the traditions of this festival is that we eat dairy foods. Then on Thursday night, we will welcome in Shavuot. We will celebrate this day that honors the receiving of the Torah at Sinai. On this holiday, we have two phenomenal opportunities to be together not only with members of Congregation Dor Tamid, but also members of the broader Atlanta Jewish community in two ways. The first is a Tikkun Leil Shavuot that begins at 6 o'clock and goes until about 2 in the morning. The tradition on Shavuot is to have a Tikkun Leil Shavuot, a repair of the night of Shavuot, because our rabbis teach that on the original Shavuot, the night that the Torah was given at Sinai, there were people in the community that due to the late hour of receiving of the Torah, they fell asleep. So to repair that moment, to make atonement and amends for our ancestors who fell asleep, the tradition is to engage in an evening or a night of study. Our study will be very in-depth and very enlightening as we are visited by scholars and authors from around the country, including Michael Twitty, Dr. Judith Hopman, and others, including rabbis in the community who will teach us at various points throughout the evening. Then at 8:30, we will take a break from the learning, and the local Reform congregations will gather together on Zoom for a prayer session, a service of hope, a service of rejoicing as we rejoice in receiving our Torah. So please join with Mike and myself and the other rabbis and cantors and congregations in the Atlanta area as we welcome Shavuot at 8:30 on Zoom. And then at 10 o'clock on Friday morning, please join again with me on Zoom for our festival morning and Yizkor service. Next Friday night, or this coming Friday night rather, I invite you to again join with us on Zoom for Shabbat services. Many of you were able to join us through that medium this past Friday night, and it was lovely to see all of the smiling faces. Lovely to see, as many of you saw through Facebook and our website, everybody singing along and doing the hand motions to Oseh Shalom and other prayer moments. So I invite you all to join us that way. If that's not the way that you prefer to engage in services, we will still stream on our website and through Facebook. But the more the merrier. The more that can join us on Zoom, the nicer it will be in order for us all to come together. And then following the service, after we turn off the dual streaming to our Facebook page and our website, we will have once again a virtual Oneg Shabbat after services on Friday night. And then just looking ahead, I want to make you all aware that on June 7th, it's a Sunday evening, we will gather together on Zoom for a virtual night of bingo. So we're going to have some fun that night as well. There's a lot more things coming up as we enter into the summer months, and I want to make sure you're all aware of all of the things going on at CDT's virtual online presence. I hope you have a great week, a meaningful and reflective day today on Memorial Day, and as we enter into Shavuot on Thursday night, a Chag Sameach. Hope to see you all soon.